So your coworker swears that he only lives by ChatGPT. Some guy online says Claude is better. You go online, so many YouTube videos about Claude code. Your phone keeps pushing Gemini, and then you actually open one of these, and then you see 10 different models, and you have no clue which of these models to use, what each of these means, and you're just totally confused. So stick with me about 12 minutes. By the end, two things will have happened. Firstly, you'll know exactly which AI to use, not just their names, but what each one is like, their strengths, and what is actually the best fit for you. Right now, I know it feels like there's too much to keep up. There's so many different types of AI, and hopefully by the end, that feeling will be gone. Secondly, you will know the different type of models for each of the AIs and what the best use case is. So let's get into it. So everybody asks, what is the best AI? But that's actually the wrong question. Why? So pretend I go into a car dealership and I go to the salesperson and says, "What's the best car?" That's actually a silly question, only because the worker will come up to me and say, "Best car for what?" So if I wanted a city car for quick errands, I wouldn't be going and getting a van because it's harder to park. If my full time job was doing logistics, moving things around, I would go and get a van. Or if I just want a pure speed, really fast car, I'll really get a supercar. So there's not there's no best car. There's just the right one. And AI is completely the same. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, they're all really good. And none of them is actually a rip-off. They all do amazing jobs. So I'm actually gonna answer two smaller questions instead. First, which AI, so which of the top four AIs is best for you? And then inside that, what type of models should I be using? So if we go into the four AIs, the four major AIs, and then it's four different jobs. First of all, the main key thing from the whole video, this is the key thing I want you guys to take. So I don't want you to hunt for the perfect AI because there isn't. There's no perfect AI. They're all really good. And you going around seeing all these different features and getting confused is really what's keeping you stuck. So don't worry about the tool, just grab in and just give it a go. The more you use it, the better you get at it. So one of them will just click and you just start liking the way it works, the features, and you'll just lean onto it more and more. Think of it like a toolbox. You don't just stand on top of the toolbox and just find the perfect toolbox. You'll grab a toolbox, give it a go, and then you get better the more times you use it. And then you just start to like that tool, that certain tool. And then for your everyday task, you'll go grab that tool. And then maybe you should have a more specialized task, you'll go grab a different tool. So AI is completely the same. Don't marry one AI, just pick one and then start. And then you just get better because they're all very similar and the tools is very similar. But let's actually break down what each one's actually best for. And then maybe you guys can give a pick and really use it. So first of all, we've got ChatGPT, which essentially I would say is really the best all-rounder. It's really good at your everyday tasks. And the main key strength it has is its images. It's really good at making images, really got it got really good models to really create new images. So that's its strength. And then it's also really good at quick research. So if you really want to do deep research on any type of work you're doing, ChatGPT is really good because of how quick it can produce a research. But that's not saying that Claude and Gemini and Copilot can't do that. It's just ChatGPT would be better, and Claude is also really up there in terms of research. So why would you use ChatGPT? It's really the easiest to use, and it got the most information out there. So that's ChatGPT. Next is Claude. And if you're a developer, this is essentially your best friend. This is the best AI tool right there, out there. If you're going to develop anything, build an app, build websites. And that's the main reason for that is because of Claude Code. So if you were going to build something, you would go into Claude. That is really your tool. And it's really good at whole contracts, long documents, dealing with long documents, do deep analysis research on it. Next, really simple, Gemini. If you're a Google person, if you're using Gmails, if you're using Docs, if you're using Sheets, this is all Gemini is all
inside all of these Google applications. So it's up to date with all those different documents that you've been using. And if you want to be using AI in all those type of Google applications you can use, you'll be using Gemini. Um, so that's Gemini. And then finally we got Copilot. Copilot is a bit weird. It actually uses ChatGPT and Claude models
but it actually lives inside Microsoft Office. So if you're using Excel, Outlook, Teams, you'll be using Copilot because you can deal with your emails, you can look through your emails, you can look through your sheets, it can bring forth different applications. And a lot of corporate companies and applications actually use Copilot because all their work is under Microsoft. So if I was you, keep a few and then call the right one for the job. So now you know which is the best AI for you and what you think is the best fit. So now let's go into models. So GPT models, different type of AI models. And essentially, let me actually show an example. So this is Claude's model. And you go in and honestly, it's really confusing. Like there's like 10 different type of models, different names, different numbers. And you have no clue which one to use, which one do I use for this task. So let me actually break it down. So imagine you're in a hospital. The honest truth is that all AIs just have three different type of models, which is fast, balanced, and powerful. So they're all just the same. Each AI company all have the same features. They're just rebranded completely differently just to confuse us all. So imagine we went to a hospital and you're not feeling well. If you really want a fast, quick answer and really the cheapest answer, because remember AI also uses tokens which cost money or cost your usage, and you want the cheapest answer, a really quick answer, you'll go into the nurse, which can really handle most of the tasks. Any questions that you have, you can go. And then you go, maybe you want to book a GP appointment for your really everyday care, and this is really a balanced answer. It got the better answers. It's a bit more expensive, and you get better answers and better quality of outputs, and it's really overall balanced. And then, depending on your situation, if you're really not feeling well, you might need specialized care. So this is where you'll book a specialist, and this is really the most powerful, the better answers. It takes longer to book, way more expensive, and you'll go and book a specialist. So that's AI. You have the fast option, balanced option, and powerful. And number one thing is you rarely need a specialist. It really does take a lot of tokens, and it does take a lot of usage. So you really want to be careful when using this. You really don't want to be using a specialist for your everyday basic tasks. And it's actually a skill being able to use different models and different tokens and being able to learn about token usage on your tasks because they actually do matter and add up. Let's go into the different models for each of the 4 AIs that we are talking about. So number one tip is I want you to forget about the numbers. Forget about these numbers. That's essentially what model or what type of update it has and what year it has really been dropped. So it doesn't matter and it just gets confusing. The main thing that you want to remember is the fast one, there's a balanced one, and there's a powerful one. And for really your everyday tasks, you'll be using the balanced one. That's what I'll be using. And for all of these different type of ones, it would have different type of names. So ChatGPT is called Instant, Thinking, and Pro, which essentially again is just fast, balanced, powerful. So the balanced ones, which you'll be using more regularly, is ChatGPT is called Thinking, Claude is called Sonnet, and Gemini is again called Thinking. The ones that just have like a bit more confusing names would be Claude. So the fast one's called Haiku, the balanced one's called Sonnet, and the powerful one is called Opus. And they really have a even more powerful one, which is Fable. So these AI models do improve, and then it just gets more powerful and powerful. Maybe a new model will come, but that should not confuse you because again, you know the 3 type of different gears, and maybe they just have a 4th gear, which is even more extremely powerful. One key thing I just want to mention is Copilot. If you're using Copilot, it actually runs with ChatGPT and Claude different models, and it's just inside your Microsoft. So it just uses these 2 models. So it doesn't have its own model, it just uses that. So again, number one tip, like I mentioned, ignore the number, just read the word. And just before you start the task, just think, is it fast? Is that a fast task that I need? Is it balanced or is it powerful? But if I was you, just jump into AI, your AI of your choice, and just use the balanced one. If you need it to do more, you go into the powerful one. And if you see your tokens being used up way too much, maybe reduce your small tasks for the fast ones. But hopefully that does make sense. So one simple pattern that hopefully you'll be able to understand. So after this video, hopefully finally you understand the different types of AIs that you can use. And also the most confusing one is the different type of models. And the key thing is hopefully now you're not scared anymore of when these new AIs come out and these new different type of models come, because again, they have three different type of gears, and now you can just pick one and just keep getting better and just getting more used to the AI environment. Because honestly, it's not scary. Once you get your head around it, you'll soon be an expert, and you'll just eventually start to love it and be using it for your everyday tasks. Because AI is not going anywhere, so we just have to learn and grow with it. So that's all.